Welcome back to the Fitness Show, brought to you by UFC Gym of Santa Clarita. I'm Ellen Como, your host. Welcome back. Okay, I have Asia here, Asia Starr. She works at the gym. She's one of the coaches. She's a striking coach, which is awesome for a woman, and she is going to get in there and teach people how to hit a bag. And that's it. We really hit the bags and the hard bags. So a technique, form, all of that. So it's not just a bunch of people running around with gloves. That I've got to say, each and every one of our coaches is actually done what they're teaching. And that's true about actually every single person that works at our gym. We're not weekend, I call box gyms, where you go for a weekend certification and guess what? I can do this now. We all have experience and education in what we do. And we did not choose this job. The job chose us. That's why we are where we are. That's why we all, I think, kind of gravitated to the same place. And, that happens. A like attracts like, right? And I think that's why we are all attracted to this like place, because we are alike that way. And we were talking about our classes, but there's a lot of personal training that also goes on at UFC Gym Santa Clarita. I haven't opened that up yet, but I'm getting very, very close to opening that up as soon as I'm feeling a little bit better, because I'm the one who got hit. That's why I was talking about pay attention. So as soon as I'm going to be opening that up to a few hours of personal training myself, because actually my experience in fitness started with personal training, not group training. I was always a personal 1-on-1, 2-on-1, maybe 3-on-1 trainer. I love that. That is what I love to do. Now, I did run a boot camp class, but personal training was where my heart was. And this was way before personal trainers were even actually like in style. And what I would do is go to someone's house, and I would get them off their sofa and take them out running, jogging, whatever. We really wouldn't do a lot of lifting at that point, because I'm going back over 30 years. So it was a whole different, fitness looked completely different back then. And so my job was to get people out of a sedentary lifestyle into an active lifestyle by showing up at their door and getting paid for it. So I was doing it long before it was really actually
You're so ahead of your
a
curve,
job, right?
Ellen.
I know, right? I knew it, but it was, it was fun, and that carried me all the way through. And that's really what I was always attracted to, is that one-on-one, because I really like to know and look at the body, like what makes it tick? How do I get you to cross your barriers, not only in your fitness, but other barriers that are going on in your life as well. It's amazing what happens when you're working on one-on-one with somebody.
Absolutely.
Because we all have things that stand in the way of where we want to get. And sometimes we're thinking it's one thing and it's another. And when you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to get stronger and you're trying to change your life, sometimes why you can't succeed with that has nothing to do with what's going on in the gym. I had a woman that I had trained for a while, and we could not get the weight off of her. And she was keeping this extra weight on her, and she was quote unquote doing all the right things, but she was actually not doing all the right things behind doors, as far as what she was eating and doing things to sabotage herself. And it came down to the fact that when she was a young girl, her family didn't have enough money to eat. So by having enough to eat in her world meant she was a success.
Wow.
And so we had to break down that barrier of understanding where you're not that person anymore.
Right.
You are successful. You don't need to eat to prove your success. You've already proven your success. So now we don't need to eat anymore. And then 50 pounds in 50 days.
Wow.
Yes. So sometimes things come up that you don't even know.
Yeah. And you find them in that personal training setting.
Yes.
You will find those things. I'll have to be honest, because I did find this whole world for myself on accident. There was a long time where I didn't believe in gyms. I didn't need a gym. I could do it by myself at home. Mm-hmm. I was the queen of the at-home workout. And, I'd be Taiboing in the middle of the night. And that did get me to a certain point, but it definitely didn't break down any barriers. Because when you're working out by yourself, the limits are there, and you're not going to push yourself past the limits.
Well, and also you have nobody looking at you saying,
there's no accountability.
You're not doing it the right way,
right.
even. So you could be doing it the wrong way because you're looking at a TV, you're not looking at a mirror.
Sure.
And so when you have that, you don't even know if you're doing it the right way. You're just kind of flailing along and following along.
Right.
And you really need a mirror, or you need a person as your mirror, to be able to break your body down for you.
It makes a big difference. When I did find my gym, I found it on accident. I was actually running, just jogging on my lunch break, and I heard some music playing, so I just ran towards the music, and there was the gym. And the same person who swore up and down that she didn't need a gym or a trainer, I signed up like that. Yep. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't negotiate the fees. I just signed up because something about the energy I just fell in love with. And I was able to gain so much in that gym setting, and also by watching other people move. Watching someone else do something correctly or incorrectly is a really, it's a good way to compare your progress and say, oh, just when I was going to say I can't do this because I'm a mom and I've had 3 kids, and if I do that exercise, my uterus is going to fall out, I see someone who's twice my age doing it. Yep. And I really have no excuses. Or I look over to my left and I say, gosh, if I stop doing my push-ups, this lady next to me is going to stop. There's this accountability factor that comes from working out with a group of people. But once you get into personal training, now you're going to find those pockets of your own life in your own body that you can customize. In my case, I had become a pretty darn good athlete, but I was still a very, very slow runner. It was the one part of my fitness that wasn't improving. I was becoming stronger. I could do exercises I never could do before. I was, definitely meeting all of my goals, except for in the running. It was very, very slow. And that's when I decided I'll talk to a personal trainer. I'll ask that person what it is I'm doing or not doing that's keeping me from being able to progress as a runner. And I bought a personal training package, and right away, the trainer was able to assess my body type. He was very surprised to hear that I was a slow runner because I have these big giant legs that
you're
look
more
like
fast twitch.
They look like, monster trucks. But I had to explain to him it's like a Cadillac. Like all this extra is a Cadillac. It's not really a Ferrari. It's not meant for speed. It's like, let's take a long drive together on a Sunday. But he was able to assess bit by bit what aspect of my physicality was holding me back. And we did some really cool drills that I wouldn't have done in a classroom setting because they were so specific. They were so custom to me and what I was working on. And one day it finally occurred to him what was missing. And he was able to say, Asia, I know what it is. Yep. You're not understanding that fast means go right now. He goes, you're driving like you're driving a stick. You're going first gear, second gear, third gear. And he goes, I need you to hit 5th gear as soon as I say go. And by using a stopwatch and running a lot of different drills, he was able to get that running speed through the roof. So when you take the time to give yourself a one-on-one setting with a trainer, now you can really customize things that you've never been able to break through on your own.
And they're going to be able to break it down in a way, like you said, because what you require and need to take your body to the next level is not what the person next to you's needs are. Everybody's needs are different because we all come from a different background. We all come from a different place as far as how active we were as a child, how active we weren't. Did we do sports? Not sports. How are we put together genetically? Things that we can help, things we can't help. We all know those you can look at a body and look at a woman or a man and go, my gosh, they have the best arms I've ever seen. You'll go, I never touched them. Right. And you can't believe that because you are working double time, overtime just to create a halfway decent looking arm. Why is that? There is genetics at play. But to that also is maybe you're not working your arm the right way. Right. Maybe you are hitting a range of motion that is going to impede your progress. So that's where a trainer can really start to break it down and really also look at, kind of watch you. And it takes me like, sometimes I get it first hour. I look at him and went, aha, I have that aha moment right away. It might take me 1 or 2. Usually it's pretty quick. And because I put them through a series of things that I kind of ask them and I put them through the same kind of moves and I can see where their strengths and weaknesses are. But also it has to go on what they want. Right. Now, sometimes as a personal client, you're going to come to me and say, this is what I want. And we're going to sit down and talk about it. And some of your goals might be a little, just, they might be a little bit hard or they're not realistic for you.
Do you want to hear a goal that I get all the time from women?
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy. The woman wants to be the weight she was in high school.
You know what? I love that. When people say me that, tell me that, I will say to them, I weigh less now than I did in high school. So let's look at, and when they say that too, I always ask them, and how much muscle, what did you do in high school?
Right.
Were you an athlete in high school?
I weighed less in high school. I weighed in at about 125 in high school. I weigh in about 135 now. But I always say this version of myself can kick that girl's butt like that.
Right.
I'm so much more muscular and so much more capable than I was physically. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't wish my high school weight on myself at all.
Right.
Because I love how powerful and strong I am. But that's my own personal view.
And, sometimes too, what they don't understand, and I always say, okay, instead, how much do you weigh? Let's look at what you weigh. Okay. Instead, let's take off this many pounds and let's reassess. And small little goals to reassess. Because then all of a sudden they're going to go, wait a minute. Because I don't know how many times we hear in the gym, I haven't lost any weight. And I'm like, yeah. And how many pant sizes have you lost? Like 3. Okay.
Right.
Look at what's going on with your body. There's a body. I call myself, and I am a body transformation specialist. I transform your body.
Yeah.
And that sometimes means that the weight is not going to change.
I call that trading bounce for ounce.
Yeah.
So you get rid of the jiggle, but the muscle comes back instead.
Exactly.
So the scale isn't going to give you the number you want to see, but sometimes we just have to look in the mirror.
Yep.
How do you feel in your clothes? What are you capable of that you weren't capable of when you walked through the door? Those things, those measurements count just as much
and
as
the
your
myths. Okay, muscle doesn't weigh more than fat. That's 5 pounds of muscle and 5 pounds of fat, or 5 pounds of muscle and 5 pounds of fat.
That's the old 10 pounds of bricks or 10 pounds of feathers.
Right?
Either way, it's 10 pounds.
It's 10 pounds. But if you take the muscle takes up less room than fat because it's more compact. Number one. Number two, muscle doesn't burn fat. Muscle burns more calories than fat. So those are 2 myths that people get all the time. So having muscle on your body is not going to mean that you're going to get bigger. Now there's different kinds of fat to lose too. There's visceral fat, and then there's so we can get really, really involved in that. But there's a lot of ways you're going to change your body. That doesn't necessarily mean the scale is going to change a lot. So don't get caught up on the scale. To me, a scale is a great regulator. When you hit your set point and you're feeling really good about yourself and you like where you are and you're active and you feel good and life is good and you're not starving, so you're miserable all the time, but you're just feeling really good about yourself, have that number as just an indicator.
Sure.
Because sometimes we all need to have some kind of an indicator to tell us which way we're going, something to keep us honest with ourselves.
Right.
And if we know we're going crazy with our nutrition and we know that we're not working out the way we should and we're going out and we're eating whatever we want and you're not paying attention at all to that scale, you can end up really derailing your fitness.
Sure.
So every now and then do a check-in. And if all of a sudden it's 5'8", you got to, now we got to dial it back and start to get back on your proper habits again. So it's an indicator. It shouldn't be something that you do every day. And I will admit that I was at a point where I would weigh myself 3 times a day. When I woke up after lunch,
Get out. Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I lived by the scale. And I had to actually learn how not to do that. That was years ago.
Do you want to hear the honest truth? And anybody who knows me, I've never owned a scale.
Right.
And now I probably weigh myself maybe every 3 months at the gym, which is probably not often enough. But like I said, my measurement is always, what can I do? But that's me as a woman. That reflects my personality. What am I capable of? What makes me mad is if I know that I used to be able to do 20 push-ups and for some reason I'm only pulling out 12. Mm-hmm. That right there, that's my scale. That's when I say, okay, you know what? You're losing strength. You've been cutting back here. So I always want to make sure I can do what I'm asking other people to do and do it really, really well.
Yes.
That's my measurement. But this goes back to the personal training. your trainer is going to be able to hone in on what's the right measurement for you. So a personal trainer who comes up to me and says, hey sister, you look a little thick. I think you should lose some weight. We're already not going to fit together because this trainer doesn't understand that my outlook is about how strong I look and how strong I am. But a good personal trainer is going to be able to kind of align themselves with your outlook. If you just want to feel better, or you want to look better, or you want to do more.
Yes.
That's an important piece of the puzzle. And you have to take the time with your clients and say, tell me what you want out of this.
Yeah. If you have a trainer that doesn't say, what do you want? What's your goal?
Yeah.
Then, that's the first thing. Now, most of the time when you take on a personal client, they're going to tell you right away what they want. I mean, within the first 2 sentences, you're going to know what they're.
I want to weigh what I weighed in high school.
Yeah, they're going to. Yeah, yes, exactly. That's one of them. Or I want to look like so and so. Or I have a picture of the person I want to look like. I'm like, okay. First of all, you don't want to look like anybody but you.
Right.
Ever. You always want to look like your best self. That's it. Because your best self is always going to be much better than any other picture you could find out there.
Agree.
And that picture is probably doctored anyway. And that person that you're looking at probably doesn't really look like that in real. Just saying, right?
Right.
Because we can do all kinds of things with Photoshop. So I think it's about being your very best.
I agree.
And it's about accepting your body and accepting the things about your body that maybe you don't like as much, but those are the things that you're going to have to love the most. I always tell my women clients, more than my men, I tell my women clients, you always take better care of something you love. So learn to love yourself. It's not vanity, it's sanity.
That's so cool.
And I tell each and every one of them that because it's so true. If you don't love something and you're looking in the mirror and you're beating up on yourself, why are you going to take care of yourself?
Right.
You're too busy beating up on yourself to take care of yourself.
Do you want to know what I often use? Because I'm a mother of 3. One of the things that occurred to me on my path to fitness was that nobody was going to make my lunches for me. Nobody was going to take me to the gym. Nobody was going to hold my hand and make sure that I did the things I needed to do to be healthy and fit. But I'm going to tell you something. If one of my kids had the obesity problem that I had when I was a kid, you can believe I would have made every single meal. If my kid had a medical condition that required them to eat every 3 hours, I would show up at school every 3 hours, whatever it takes. So as parents, if we're going to give that kind of time and attention to our children, which we should, one of the things you have to realize as an adult is your mommy's not going to do it for you. Your mommy's not going to say, hey, Ellen, I need you to eat 6 small meals a day, so I'm going to pack them for you. They're ready. And by the way, it's good for you if you go to the gym for an hour, so I'm going to take you to the gym. Mm-hmm. Treat yourself like a baby. Put yourself on the same level as your kids. If your kids' nutrition and their health and their fitness is important to you, yours should be in the same category. So pack your lunch. Eat what's going to make you feel good. Eat what's going to keep you going. Not feel good as in comfort food, but feel good as in I can use this fuel for today.
Right.
And give yourself the same high priority that you would give one of your own children. Because if you don't, you'll give yourself the back burner in the back seat over and over again. And next thing you know, you don't have the level of health that you want for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you're not doing it for yourself.
Yep, you have to. We have you 1 hour. You got the 23 other hours in the day. Right. Or I should have said, our gym, we have you for 2 hours because you're there 2 hours. Then you have the other 22 hours to make good decisions for yourself. We're going to be right back. This is Ellen Como on The Fitness Show, brought to you by UFC Gym, Santa Clarita. Welcome back to The Fitness Show here on brought to you by UFC Gym Santa Clarita on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Ellen Como. And we were talking about personal training. I'm with Asia Starr. She's one of the coaches over at UFC Gym Santa Clarita. We were talking about personal training. And personal training is for everyone. There's not like one person. And if you're taking classes and there's just something that you want more out of your workouts and you feel like you're not getting enough, that's a great time for you to get involved with a personal one-on-one training. And you can start with 3, 4, 6, 10, and you might only need 10 and you might be good after that and say, you know what, I can do this for a while. And then when you're ready, you buy one once in a while, everybody's a little different. Some people need a personal trainer every single time they work out because if they don't have that appointment, they're not going to work out and they know that about themselves. So always be honest with yourself. When I have somebody come to me and say, I really want to start training with you, I always ask them the same thing. How many days realistically do you have to work out? Not how many days do you have in that pie of the sky of a perfect world, but how many days do you realistically have to work out? Because then now we can start to put a plan in place, and then I'm going to ask about your nutrition. How available are you for your nutrition? Now, if you, again, no pie in the sky answer. Let's be real here. Let's be transparent because I need to know this stuff. That's how I can build your success. And then little things are going to be coming up. I've had clients break down and cry on me. I've had clients literally lay on the ground and kick their feet, no lie, and have a little temper tantrum on me. I have had another client that I just had a slew of F-bombs thrown at me throughout the whole entire hour. Now, all these things were happening because I was taking them out of their comfort zone. Now, those are extremes. Most people go along very happily, but you have those stories, and that's okay because that's part of what we do as trainers is take you out of your comfort zone, and we're living in that comfort zone for you. And as soon as you start to trust that, you'll come around.
My favorite part of training one-on-one, because I'm such a social butterfly, is the camaraderie and the friendship. And really quick, hi Peggy D and hi Christina. Those are two of my favorite girls that I work out with one-on-one. But you do have a very cool and inspirational setting to get to know someone in. You get to hear someone's story beyond just recognizing them from their cool shoes and their outfit or, the class that they take. You get to find out what makes this person tick and what you have in common. And that's so fun for me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sometimes I get very tickled that I get paid to do this. I'm getting paid to make friends and they happen to do what I do, which is work out. It's pretty cool.
I know it's one of those things that we show up no matter what because we know that we'd rather be there than anywhere else for that hour. So that's what makes training different. So if you're looking for a personal trainer and you're at UFC, just go up to the front desk, let them know that that's what you want. Approach the trainer that you want to work with. We're available here for you. And then UFC is located behind IHOP across the street from the movie theaters in Canyon Country on Soledad. So that's where we're located. Or you can look us up, UFC Gym Santa Clarita on Facebook. We're all over the place. So look us up. Come check out the gym. I think you're going to love it. Tomorrow's Member Appreciation Day. If you wear pink, even if you're not with a member, come on over. You can come into the gym for free, get a 5-day pass, try out the different classes, because you're going to find that the motto for UFC Gym is train different. And you're going to find out that's truly what's going on over there is we are training different. And we're teaching you how to train different for your goals, your body, and your experiences. So I want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you,
We need to take our sign off right here. So I want everyone to have a great week. Remember, pay attention to your driving and stay healthy and fit. Have a great day, everyone. We'll be back in 2 weeks.